Okay, I just want to give it some time to start real quick. It says proper names of the Muskogean languages, right? Let's just go up to the title of this book. It's from Edivas Laboratories Edivas Laboratories of American Linguistics. Bulletin 3, proper names from the Muskogean languages by Thomas Knoxon Toomey. It don't have Thomas here, but his name is Thomas. It was published in St. Louis, Missouri, USA, from Edivas Laboratories, September 1917. I'm trying to get straight to it because I've been doing a whole bunch of talking, and I'm trying to just get straight to the. Look at this bullshit here, man. Go back forward. Phone trying to go slow and shit. Hating when I'm scrolling. God damn, bruh. Shit. Here we go. So, you know what? Since we here in these little names over here, let's go ahead. Since they want to play, we're gonna go down to the T's, right? And we're gonna go to the T's. It's where it shows the word. Where is it at? Y'all finna trip when y'all see this. Y'all finna trip when y'all hear. Just do a zoom in real quick. Toby. See that? See how they got Toby right there? And to make sure it's unmistakable, what does that say? It says Toby, right? They got another word up there too. Topi. Topi Sofki. A bowl of Tom Fuller, whatever that means. You know, don't forget that this is their translation, right? But Toby seems to be a really used word, right? In Mississippi and Georgia, right? So when they gave us that movie Roots, they said that Toby was beat into him. No, Toby was beat out of him. The history of his people was beat out of him. Since they want to, the phone want to play, let's just stop there real quick. Let's just stop there. So we on page 23. They're talking about names, stuff like that. Naming practices. And they're talking about the breakdowns of the percentages of what this is composed of, like flower names, street names, plant names, animal names, stuff like that, place names, local, terrain, stuff like that. Now, we're going to talk, now they go into telling you about personal names. Now, let's look up here. It says, we notice the frequent occurrence of names taken from the aquatic reptilia, like Serpent Mound up there, all the way in Ohio. We're talking about people in Alabama, man, in Georgia. It just showed you that. Particularly the Colonidae. So let's look up Colonidae real quick. Let me look up Colonidae. And while I'm looking up Colonidae, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit because and then it says the small turkey and the catamount southern panther. So let's look up Colonidae real quick. I got a tablet that I'm typing it in. Turtles. Colonidae are turtles. Sea turtles. What do you know? That's wild right there. So they named the little boys after turtles. Colonidae are hard-shelled green loggerhead, hawksbill, olive ridley, Kip's ridley, and flatback turtles. Those are turtles. Hard-shelled turtles. That's what Colonidae is. So they named the boys after hard-shelled turtles. The small turkey and the catamount southern panther. It's interesting. So, the personal names, it says, I give the customs of address and the various kinds of the personal names as they are used among the Choctaws, Chickasaws, Muskogees, and Seminoles of the present day. Now, let's just skip down a little bit to what it says, because they're talking about war titles, how the people name the boys, how the people name the girls. And right here in this paragraph, they're talking about how the warriors and the ones who are not warriors earned their titles, or how they did not, and people who did not earn a title. You can just pause it right here and read this. So I'll scroll up a little bit so you can pause it right there and have it all in the frame. You can pause it and read it. And then I pause this right here. Actually, let's scroll down. Yep, there we go. Boom. And it says men who were effeminate got different kind of names. Now, other boys who was tough, you know what I'm saying? The little boys who was tough, they got tough names. were known by their highest war title. Let me see. The Choctaws and Chickasaws. They keep talking about Choctaws and Chickasaws, right? Now, watch where they get their naming practices and all this stuff from. I'm trying to get down to the nitty gritty here. The chief titles, warrior titles, and you know what? Let me go back up here so y'all can pause this and read this if you want to. Because I'm not about to read all of this. I'm finna take us straight over to, because I've already read this already, and my point is a little past here. So we'll stop and talk a little bit more about the names. The names were usually chosen from the names of plants or birds, as these names were supposed to possess peculiar power to confer good luck, and this was for the girls. Oh no. Boyhood names were conferred by the eldest maternal uncle. However, boys were often known by nicknames. Playmates usually called each other by nicknames, by names indicating the position played in the chunky field or other games, or by short, untranslatable names. That's what they do us all the time. As examples of the latter are the Choctaw names Omi, Bola, and Pico. I got a cousin named Pico. Only nicknames were permitted to refer to personal peculiarities or parts of the body. To call an adult by a nickname was considered an insult. So yeah, they talk about the different kinds of people and stuff, the crazy ones, the warriors. We're gonna go past this a little bit. What was that name for protection? Actually, nope, I went a little too far. We gotta go back up a little bit. I went too far. These naming practice, this latter concept. Look, the name could only be changed by the mother or grown-up child at any time. It was thought that the youngster was laboring under an evil charm or had been looked upon by the evil eye. This latter concept was acquired from the what? Negroes. The change of name was affected, at least by adults, by the person remaining in solitude for a day or more, during which time he performed rites peculiar to himself and intended to drive away the evil influence. Y'all see after they talk about naming the boys, they talk about Yahola and all that, right? Yaholas, shouters, Tasikayas, the warriors, the Hatshios, crazy ones, Tasakayas, leading warriors, the Pakachas. That sounds like ain't the Sanskrit Indian. Tustinuggies. I'm finna look these up. Lako, Imatla. Imatala, Tasikayas. Yeah, I'm finna look it up. So, that's why I just want to bust out to y'all real quick, man. I'll be back, but this is the kind of stuff y'all see is Internet Archive. Y'all see that this came in. I'm not making none of this up. And this talks about how the people address the people like, oh, Auntie Betty May, instead of just walking up to her and say, hey, Betty May. Or you said my great aunt Betty May, because you said that's my grandmama's sister Betty May, right? And they talk about how you addressed your family members by the woman that you are related to, how she's that in relation to you, and that's how you address them. You ain't just walk up to your granny and just say her first name. You say, hey, grandma such and such, right? But yeah, I get back with y'all again. But that's what this is talking about right here.